are now in session. We are back with another one. Happy holidays to everybody. First, before we begin, we want to give a shout out to Fahrenheit HVAC for sponsoring this video. Appreciate that so much. Clap for that one. Yeah. Also want to give a thanks and happy holidays to our viewers, fans, subscribers, people that have been commenting, liking our page and our social media content. We really appreciate that. It means so much to us as well as we continue to grow and also provide a platform for you guys to listen to every day that you have an opportunity to listen to. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dude, yeah. Today, Charles, what's today? What are we talking about?
I want to talk about Andrew Tate, dude. Like I see him all over on social media. Like everything about him, like is just.
You put glasses on, you kind of look like him, bro.
Really? Yeah. Hey, so I'm a top G.
You're a top G, bro.
The Asian Andrew Tate, the Lao, the Lao Andrew Tate. We're gonna hear from the Lao Andrew Tate, right?
You know, like first, like you guys heard about Andrew Tate, right?
I heard of him.
I know a little bit about him from the social media and maybe short clips, but I don't know. I hear a few podcasts about him, but I'm not familiar with.
So he's this dude from I think Romania, but he's like been banned by all platform, YouTube, Instagram, everything. Even banks ban him.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But he's everywhere on social media.
Why did they ban him?
Because they think he's a bad influence. They think that he's bringing misogynist and all this negativity, and there's a lot of people that's following him, and he's a big influencer. So they want to silence him. So
who wants to silence him?
Yeah.
The big dogs, I guess. I don't know who's trying to silence him, but
he must be saying a lot of real shit then, huh?
Yeah, like he's definitely talking about like men.
I like him already.
Women. Yeah. Well, you've seen his stuff, right?
Yeah, I've seen his stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
like so he talks a lot of like men and women tradition. Like he's trying to teach people like, hey, it's okay to be a traditional man. But like that goes against feminism.
Whoa.
So
I see. Yeah.
I see.
I mean, I agree with a lot of stuff he says, but his delivery is just too blunt for me.
Too harsh.
Yeah.
So he made a clip and talked about cultural men in marriages. Is that what it is?
No, just how a man should behave.
Oh, how men should behave.
Yeah. But
that
first,
is a great conversation.
I want to know, why do you guys think just because he got banned, why is he all over on social media though? How can he be banned but still be trending?
Yeah.
Well, I think he's not creating his own videos, right?
No, but he's in other people's platform.
So people are promoting him.
They're not. Well, they have it on their platform, but anytime somebody put Andrew Tate on, their stuff goes viral.
Really?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everybody else his name is still part of these conversations.
Yeah.
And I think what he did before was share a message and made people think about it. When you talk about him being blunt, I've seen a few episodes that he was very blunt about it, and it made me question some areas of what he was talking about, you know? And I think that's part of what his viewers, his fans, the people that listen to his podcast are elaborating and shooting out these different platforms that they're doing. Maybe the 10% of Andrew Tate's fan is taking his percentage of his knowledge and is shifting it over to a bigger, wider audience, you know?
And have you seen him on Piers Morgan show?
No.
So he went on there. Piers Morgan was just being a dick like he always is. But then Andrew Tate, like, dude, you agree with everything I say.
Yeah.
You're just afraid to say it because you don't want to be canceled with me. So I'm like, yeah. Andrew Tate's like, I'm not Andrew Tate. But Piers Morgan is like, no, I don't agree with you. He go, just admit it. You like me. And then the next time he went back on, was it Piers Morgan? And Piers Morgan was, nicer. And he actually like defended Andrew Tate against other people.
Oh, wow.
After that, like he went in and then he found out like, hey, this guy's not really bad. It's just his message, the way he delivers it is a little too raw for most people. And all he's doing is telling people that, hey, it's okay to be a traditional man. Like, when you want to be fit, you want to go out and
But I think
provide.
his philosophy, right, doesn't agree with Western culture.
Yeah.
You know, if you go to the Eastern culture or like, the Mexican culture and stuff, what he says is true. You know, it's just the Western culture, us in the United States and Europe and stuff like that. It's more of the feminist movement, right? It's trying to shift. There's a paradigm shift that's happening, you know, and there's a road that's shifting, and his is more traditional outlook,
Because like he's telling girls or women that, hey, you guys want to go out and sleep with all these guys and be self-independent and all that stuff.
Right.
But don't expect us to value you the same way that you want us to value traditional women.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of guys that hey, that is speaking to. So he's like reaching a lot of audience. Yes.
Yeah, right.
And then now like he's being silenced. That's one thing I don't like is even if I don't like what you're saying, I don't want you to be silenced. I want to hear what you're saying.
Yeah,
It's censorship.
And I think he's also touching a very sensitive area that a lot of people, the norm or society, is saying, hey, that's not cool to say that. You say behind closed doors or you say with your own family and friend, but you're not supposed to share that to the whole audience, right?
No, you shouldn't be outspoken about it.
Exactly. Outspoken about it. I think what he's hitting that area, and people are still having these conversations, right? And these girls, whatever he mentioned, that the statement that you said, Charles, like, I think they're actually thinking about it. Like, yeah, man, actually, if I'm sleeping around, people shouldn't respect me the way they should respect me. You know what I mean? Covering up all that.
What do you guys think of like traditional women versus modern women?
Man, I think there is roles, right? There's responsibilities that women and men have, right? That they're better at. You know, women are better at things than men are, and men are better at things than women are. You know, it's not that they can't do the job because they can, and it comes down to that masculine, feminine energy that we talked about before, right? I mean, women could be more masculine, men could be more feminine, right? But it still comes down to the roles. If you're trying to marry one another, right? The marriage in whatever there are roles, right? I mean, you could have it's men and women. There's a leader and not a leader, right?
Yeah.
So whose responsibility is it? You know, so I see traditional, roles for women. Their support, that's what it is, and it takes a strong woman to support a strong man.
Yep.
I think if I'm looking back from the 1800s to now, we talk about roles. I'll echo what kind of Toby said. Like cultural women had these persona, this image that they're supposed to be doing these things for a man, and it keeps. If you look down the line, the generations. Right now, I feel that sometimes even the women, like you talk about, have these men role. They're the one are the breadwinners. They're the one that's doing all this, and then the men's are kind of staying home. Like I'm staying home and I'll take care of the kids. Yeah, it's kind of reverse. How I feel about cultural women, I to me personally, I like it in the sense because I grew up in a cultural household. I really enjoy that. My mom was a traditional Lao woman, and when I was trying to find a partner, I kind of missed that, right? And did I want somebody that was going to work and do all that more than what I could do? It'd probably be a little awkward for me because I'm more masculine in that way. Like, hey, I want to do that.
Yeah.
So if I'm taking to a context where the modern woman that Charles was trying to tell me, man, I align with them a little bit better because me and this modern woman are in the same space.
They're more masculine.
Masculine, right?
Yeah, they're more masculine.
But I love the culture aspect of a woman because I missed that in my identity. That's part of who I am. So when I met Lupe, she had that cultural value that brought into that relationship, and it was very good, very strong. And there's the balance between the masculine and feminine.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to really answer that, Charles. When you talk about
what about this? Like, if you were single right now, would you be more attracted to a traditional woman or a modern woman in our age right now?
Right now.
Or would we just take whatever you could get?
Man, you put me on the spot.
Well, I could go first if you want to think about that.
Yeah, go ahead, Tari.
But for me, I am attracted to like the modern women, right?
Yeah.
They are strong. They are independent. They are this and that, right? They know what they want. But I also see a lot of sadness in them because, they're doing all these things, right? And they're foregoing their feminine energy, which means that, that energy is very powerful too on its own. And they're kind of forgetting that energy is also what makes them beautiful too.
Yep.
But our culture, American culture, is like, you know what? We're more about masculine, right? We're more about, no, you need to be a man. So we focus more on power, But feminine energy, the traditional woman is more like, caring, nurturing, comforting, right? Love. It's about love, It's going back to that. And I think the traditional women, they show more of that. But also, they don't have a lot of say. You know what I mean? Like, they're more So the traditional women, like they're more submissive. They let the men do everything, right? And they don't really have a voice, you know. And I think that's also not good. You know what I mean? Because they should have a voice in their relationship because it's two people.
Yeah.
Well, I think, yeah, Toby, that's probably individualized because I think, you know, Lupe, she has a voice, you know, and she's very.
Well, we're talking about back then.
Back then,
right? Back then,
back
you
then.
know, back then, like you
Oh,
were
of
talking
course.
about 18th century.
Yeah. Oh, of
but
course.
now, like the
Now,
traditional
it's changed.
women, still,
Yeah.
they have a voice, but it's still up to the men to lead.
Right.
You know, to me, I'm just like you. You know, it's still up to the men to lead. You know?
Like, back in the days, like the real successful men are the one that listens to the wives. Like the wives doesn't go out and speak out. Like if we're in a group setting and the husband is saying something, even if he's wrong, she don't correct him in front of his friends or peers. Like they will go back and she will help him, you know, have a higher thinking or understanding things better. And that way he could come back to his peers and bring out the value and show like, you know, his value. But that's back then, that's where traditional women are heard and also know how to be a follower. Being a follower doesn't mean you're a slave because everybody plays their role. There's a leader and then a follower. Sometimes you just gotta play your role.
Sure.
So now women, I think, trying to be the leader and have the men be the follower.
masculine, right.
But then when they don't want men to be followers, they want another leader. You can't have two leaders in the same position.
What it comes down to also is like the spiritual side of it too. It's more like the feminine energy is more they're rulers of the spiritual realm, whereas men, we are rulers of the physical realm.
Yes.
And the feminine energy's job is to connect men, right, to our heart, because we're more logical, right?
Yes.
Like we don't really have you know, our feelings. That's why you hear a lot of women, they say, oh, you know what, you don't show no emotion, right? You don't have any feelings, right? You're too cold-hearted, right? But it's the women's job to connect us to our heart, you know, and that's where they come in, and that's their role, to connect us to the spiritual realm. You know?
To answer that question earlier, Charles, I would, if I were to challenge myself right now, I would love to see if I could connect with a modern type of person.
But you connect with modern women in different ways.
In different ways, right? In different ways.
Right.
But could you have a relationship with a modern woman?
I probably could if we were driven. If my mind was driven to that context, I think I could. Yeah, like a purpose. I think I could. But it's more of my purpose, right? To start a family, I will go with my traditional cultural ways. I wanted to ask you, what did Andrew Tate think about all this when he said when he was trying to compare the cultural and the modern woman?
Are you asking the Asian?
Yeah,
Andrew
the
Tate?
Asian Andrew
The
Tate.
Asian Andrew
Because
Tate.
Charles listens.
Charles listens to him a lot,
most.
yeah.
That's
Well,
why.
I want to say a lot. Like,
But what did he say?
His shit
about
just
this,
pops up a lot.
Yeah. What did he say about
So,
this
like-
specific cultural woman that?
Well, I mean,
session?
he talks more about like traditional women where they are valuing themselves and they don't just go sleeping with everybody.
Sure.
And then there's modern women where they go out and say, hey, I'm a free woman. I'm single. I can sleep with whoever I want, or be on OnlyFans and want the high value man. So for what he's
High
talking,
value man, as in
people that makes a lot of money, or like, you know, making 6 figures or 7 figures.
So they rather have the money,
top-
not loyalty.
I don't know. I don't know what these women want.
Yeah.
But to
well,
them,
I think for a woman, it's more about resource, right?
Resource.
Yeah, it's more resource, right?
well, I mean, we can't speak for these women that's on his show.
Biologically, right? From biologically, women would gather
Prefer.
resources, right?
Yes.
As with men, we're more like
hunters.
Hunters, right?
So for those women, they are looking for the top 1% man, the high value man. And they want to be able to go out and be themselves and go to spring break and sleep or whatever, and then still have these high value men. And high value men don't want these type of women. They want more traditional one that's, you know, hasn't been ran through by 20, 30 guys. And that's what he's talking about. So when he's talking about traditional, it's not so much of you get a job or not.
Right.
And he's talking about traditional men. You should be in a position to provide. Like, you shouldn't have to have your woman work. Like, the women you have, like, should just be able to just live. So that's what he's talking about. Yeah. So there's a lot of things that he talks about, and I don't get to see his whole,
So when you say he's banned, like he's banned for life, like he's banned from all social media platform where he can't even have a podcast or say something?
Well, he's on other people's podcasts, but
Okay.
he can't open his own. Like if you put Andrew Tate,
So like the way when Twitter did Trump,
yeah.
they banned him from doing Twitter's.
scary.
Yeah.
No, so like he's banned from Twitter, TikTok,
Right.
I
I don't think that's fair though.
But that's the little part.
But that's censorship because what
Yeah.
he's saying, he's trying to make a shift,
Yeah.
a conscious shift,
Yeah.
right, to change the mindset of
Yeah.
people, right? And I think that the power up, the higher up, doesn't like that,
Well, he's not only banned from social media. He's banned from like certain banks. Like certain banks won't not do business with him. He cannot go get loans.
That was the same thing. Okay, so he's doing that. Look at a Kanye West, right?
Yep.
He's being banned too because he's
Yeah.
speaking about the Jews.
Jews.
Yeah, right. So they canceled his bank and.
So I think
and
the
all that
position of
stuff,
power when you talk is important too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's part of what it is. And he's influencing a lot of minds and shifting the narrative in certain areas that he's talking, and he's making some sense.
And Andrew Tate is making more sense than Kanye West. Kanye West says a lot of stuff, but his delivery is horrible.
No. Kanye, I
No.
support Kanye West too because
Yeah.
what he's saying is also truth, but at a different level.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What he's saying is the truth, but his delivery is horrible.
Who? Kanye West?
Kanye West.
But he's speaking at it from more of a different perspective, right? With Andrew Tate, he's speaking more of a gender role type of perspective.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But both of them are speaking truth, man. And it sucks that, it's happening to both of them. But Kanye West, man, he's getting his money. He's going to war. you
Yeah,
know?
no. I'll support Kanye, and I'm agreeing with you with his perspective. But what I'm saying is, when I don't agree with the way he's delivering it, is when he goes out and talk to people, and when people are talking, instead of like trying to listen or explain, he go la 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 la, and he just wants to keep talking. He's trying to talk over people.
Oh, I see what you mean.
His delivery, not what he's saying. His message.
How he's communicating.
Yes.
Yeah, I was communicating.
So
Not his delivery. It's how he's communicating.
or his antics.
Yeah,
Or his
exactly.
antics that he does in the public.
Sometimes you got to do those crazy antics to get people to listen.
Listen.
So
right.
like he remind me of Damon Dash. Do you know who that is?
No.
Damon Dash is the guy that used to be with Jay-Z. He
Yep,
had a
he was-
Rockefeller company.
He was a CEO.
CEO, yeah.
So he was CEO of Rockefeller, and if
Yeah.
you go back and watch his old videos, he's saying pretty much the same thing that
That Kanye said?
Kanye is saying.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Damon Dash, huh? Uh-huh. About to look that up.
But they make Kanye a little bit crazier looking because Kanye has way more influence than Damon Dash ever had.
Oh, of course.
He has way more money than
Right.
anybody ever had in the entertainment business.
Well, let's go back to this gender role thing then. What do you think is the responsibility of men nowadays?
Still provide. You got to provide and you got to protect.
Yeah.
I don't think the gender
penetrate?
penetrate. Yeah, if you can, within 4 minutes.
Within 4 minutes or 5 minutes that you
4.5 minutes, not an hour and a half.
No, and a half.
You got to beat the 1 minute, 1 minute.
All I'm
man.
saying is, if you're doing it for an hour and a half and she only comes once, that's a problem.
Oh yeah.
She need to come at least 3 to 5 times, Charles.
Well, if I go for an hour and a half, she needs to come at least 20 times.
Multiple times.
Charles doing one every 5 minutes. You know? So
Every 4 to 7 minutes, you better
yeah.
come.
So what you're saying is the roles of men hasn't changed.
Role of men hasn't changed because the expectation of men hasn't changed.
Right.
Actually, just even more. People expect more from men.
Yeah.
They want us to provide, protect, and also be understanding,
penetrate.
caring, penetrating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's more roles. Like we're not only allowed to have the responsibility of what men had back then, but also the responsibility of what women had.
But the same could be said for women, right? They're expecting women to do what they did back then and some. Go to work, take care of the kid, raise a family, be a CEO.
By who? By who though?
By society. So
I don't know.
society is expecting men and women to be in these roles and more.
the crazy thing that I think about when we're talking about this, man, and I started to see this trend happening more, is the roles are reversing.
Yeah.
A lot more than when I was probably growing up in the 90s, in the 2000s, when I see my dad work and my mom cook and clean. Now, I'm like asking, guy, what do you do, man? Oh, I just stay home and watch the kids. That's it. And my wife, she does all the work and all the other stuff.
That sucks.
I'm like, what? These roles are changing. You know what I mean? Could I personally do that? I probably can't.
I can't do that.
You know what I mean?
No.
I probably can't. My DNA is a little different. But
Well, again, it goes back to masculine, feminine energy,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
You know, it goes back to that. If you learn how to be okay with that energy, right? Because remember, masculine energy is not, it's not grown unless you're facing challenges. So these men are at home taking care of the kids and they're not being challenged.
Yeah, they're not being challenged.
Yeah, you know, they're not going out there. They're not getting in a fight. They're not going after sales contract. You know, they're not being challenged. So you can't grow your masculine energy like that. But the women are.
Yeah.
They're being CEOs. They're being teachers. They're being, even in our culture alone, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Weren't you the one that said that these women are?
There's a lot
excelling. Right?
They're excelling, dude. They're going beyond.
Right.
Yeah.
I think of us Lao men. Some of us, you know, I'm thinking my peers, people that I've known I grow up when those roles are changing, man, and it's so unique, man. When listening to Charles talk about Andrew Tate talking about cultural women and modern women, it's been a shift, man, a huge shift, and you know the value of women now is a little different. If I was to compare, you know, what I want in a woman and all that, because, man, every different spaces are a lot different now. Even in the work, even the places that I go, the leadership meetings I go to, I'm like, how is there 8 women, there's 3 guys in here, right? It's changed. Before it used to be all male and maybe 2 women.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's a good thing. That's changing.
No, that's good.
And do you guys think that men's are able to accept that the women's are getting stronger?
I think that's hard.
It's hard.
Yeah,
think
I
so?
think it's hard for many men to accept that.
But
right?
they don't have a choice sometimes.
Yeah, they don't have a choice. You
Yeah.
know, because as a woman, women could exist without us. I'm going to say that women could exist without
Yes.
us because they can adapt. Right. That's what biologically. That's what they're. You know. That's what they're here for. Right.
Yeah.
If they don't need a man to survive. Men it's like if mom take care of us. Right. If someone's gonna take care of us, we're gonna be lazy. I'm like, all right.
Yep.
You gonna take care. You gonna take care of everything else. All right. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna play my game.
Totally.
You know, and I think that, you know, we're just getting lazier and then we're not going out there because the world is scary. We're not fighting.
Well, I don't know. The same way women could survive without men, I think men could survive without women also.
There's going to be a lot of logical stuff to happen. No compassion, you know.
It's hard.
Yeah, that's
Depending on what context you're trying to.
so. How can men survive without women?
The same way where women could survive without men. Like you said, a masculine and feminine energy.
Right.
There's a lot of guys out there with a whole lot of feminine energy where they do have compassion and all that stuff.
Right.
And that's where they become like a monk.
Yeah.
You become the monk.
Like a monk.
Like a
Not
monk.
become a monk, but become like
a
one.
monk.
Where like, you know, it's like talk about compassion and do those, you know, yogi stuff where they walk around and teach people about being is emotional and feminine and all that stuff. So, I mean, I can see both sides being able to survive without the other, but not for long because we need each other.
Right.
Yeah.
We do. Yeah. And I think the society itself is kind of like saying, no, you could do it, you know, without them or without this. But yeah, you know, I mean,
Not
I
for
could
long.
I could see men surviving. Since you're saying that now, yeah, I could see it. But yeah, not for long.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, go back to Andrew Tate. Does he have a
Hey,
brother?
you really want to know about Andrew Tate?
Yeah.
huh?
Does he have a twin brother?
No, his brother Tristan, they just look alike.
Okay.
And they talk alike.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Dude,
But
like
he-
if you listen
the other
to
guy
That's
has
the guy
hair.
with hair?
Yeah, that's the guy with the
has
hair.
and the other guy don't have hair.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And like a lot of people go, oh yeah, you can act like that when you come from money. Well, I don't know his true story, but what he's been saying is him and his brother, they grew up poor. So like they became like Muay Thai fighter or kickboxers.
Kickboxing,
Yeah,
yeah.
and when they were going through that period of time, they didn't have no money. They were scavenging for food. They ate rice and beans. And Tristan said that he always goes to KFC and wait for people that don't finish their chicken bucket, and he'll get as much as he can and take it home to freeze it, so that way he has protein to be able to train.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, and now like they're buying freaking 30 Bugattis and stuff.
Yeah,
so they're
yeah.
just blowing money.
So that's like a survivor. Like it goes back
Yeah.
from the survivor thing where I never had anything, so now I'm gonna buy everything
Yeah.
that I have, and then You know, it's that happiness thing, right? That's what's making them happy at this time.
Yep.
And the way they made the first million is by starting a cam, like girls on cameras, like OnlyFans, but not OnlyFans. Like they have those girls that goes on the cameras and talk to you and do things, like an adult website type.
Like adult website.
Yeah, I don't know what website it is, but
Man, sex sells, huh?
yeah, sex always sells in every generation.
$1 trillion business.
Yep, probably more than that. What's
than
next
that.
after trillion?
Yeah.
So how do you think the evolution of men and women roles is gonna change in the future, or do you guys think that it's going to continue this way?
It's gonna go back.
It's gonna go. You know what? I always
gonna go
man.
back.
You know what's crazy? I freaking envision. This is my fantasy. Envision one day, right? I was thinking about that too. The question you're asking, Toby. I had a dream that I was on an island. They're all women. Women are the leaders.
Yeah, was it a wet dream?
No, it wasn't a wet dream. It could have been though, because I felt hella special. You know.
Yeah.
But I was the unique person.
The savior.
They didn't see a man. Yeah, they didn't see a man.
Yeah.
But for me, knowing the background that I knew, right? I heard all
The
this.
satisfy all the women.
Lucky had the spirit of destiny.
Yeah. So, but these women had their jobs. They were policemen. They were teachers. They were, you name it, everything. They had roles, man. And I came in. They were looking at me like, "Who the hell is this guy? What species did he come from?" You know. And I had to share with them, like, I was with you guys a million years ago. You guys forgot about men. No, we don't have men. How did you survive?
So
right?
women are surviving without men.
And somehow, and this
On an island.
On
for
an island.
years, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So as I come in,
It's not
right?
like Wonder Woman stuff.
Oh man, I thought porn music was gonna come on during this time when I was sleeping. Like,
Wait,
right?
70s or 80s porn music?
Oh, 70s.
Oh,
70s,
70s.
yeah. I thought it was. I was hella happy. The only guy on the island, right? But it was very fascinating to me. And I think that one of these days, we're going to end up having that. I have a feeling with all these women that are doing it, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Just let me be part of it.
I don't know.
I'll just be more of understanding of, damn, where us men in society, where do we challenge ourselves to get ourselves back to where we need to be? I work in a lot of spaces with women. I see a lot of women. Nothing wrong with that. You know, I hope that more men step up the plate and do what they need to.
Yeah, I do too.
So,
I don't know. For me, like, I think eventually this shit's gonna break, and then we'll go back to reset to where men and women play the traditional roles. But right now, this could be way in the future before that shit happens, because right now with the gender roles where people are like, you know, blurring lines on what gender is. Right now, we can't even identify what genders is, and with Meta coming in with virtual reality, people could be whoever they want. And once people start living in those virtual realities, like you could be talking to some hot girl online.
You talking about the metaverse?
Yeah, metaverse. Yeah, so, but then the other person is actual guy on the other opposite side of the world.
Sure.
So it's gonna be weird.
Yeah, almost like the Nigerian scammers then.
Oh, yeah.
Nigerian scammers.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the movie Gamer.
Yeah,
You ever seen the
Gamer.
movie Gamer?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be people living in the dark in a closet by
So
themselves.
crazy, yeah.
What about culturally, man, in like Lao community? Like, have you seen a shift in
Oh, yeah.
the men and the women and their role?
Bro, I
in
see.
the Lao community.
I see a lot of old uncles out there getting yelled at by their wife. Come home and shit.
That's always been there.
Yeah. มึงอยู่ดึกวะมึงมาเฮือนเดี๋ยวนี้
มาเฮือนเลยนี่เด้อคือมาเจ้าว่าจะเป็นคนหนุ่มบ่นี่
Hey, you guys gotta translate for our audience.
Oh, that means you staying out late?
Staying how late?
Yeah, you better come home right now, or your clothes gonna be outside. You know. But I think that's in our culture itself. I think that the women, the Southeast Asian women, are very strong.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, they're very opinionated. They're very outspoken. You know. I mean, we had what's her name? That was
Mania.
Mania
Yeah,
and
A?
yeah, and they're very outspoken, very
Yeah.
strong in their own
Victoria,
rights, you know,
yeah.
Victoria, yeah.
Outspoken.
So with our culture, like traditional men and traditional women is a very big thing.
Right.
But why do you think so many men are afraid of their wives?
Because they got to eat, right?
Well, I think it's still a respect thing.
Yeah.
Go back to that. I'm still gonna be with her. I still love her. She's maybe upset for a little bit. It goes back to respecting, right? And
Yeah.
if for me too, man, I wouldn't be arguing to the point where I'm gonna break the relationship. There's a point where I have to say I'm at fault as well.
But
50%.
that becomes toxic, though, right?
Yeah.
Where you don't want to give in, and then you just go.
Oh, yeah.
and
Oh,
you're-
yeah.
You're
If it
just
continue to
fighting,
happen,
yeah, you know,
yeah.
you're fighting for power and control, right?
Right.
There's no relevance to it.
See, to that point, then you got to have a conversation. You
Yeah.
got to have a
Yeah.
more deeper conversation. Like, hey, you need to respect me as well as way I'm respecting you. You know, there's a time and place to do all that as well.
I think for men, it's about respect.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if we get
100%.
respected,
Yeah, 100%.
you know, even if me and you or us, you know, we disrespect each other, that respect is a big thing to
Sure.
us. You know,
Sure.
I think for women, respect too, but I think they take love more into consideration. You know,
Yeah.
like,
See, in the Lao, man, in the Lao community, for me, even with my parents, man, they're divorced. I think about when we asked about role Lao, my mom, for 12 years since she's been divorced, she had to do the male's role. Had to
She
take
called
care of
you though,
herself,
right?
But she still called me for certain things, but
Yeah.
she still makes sure that, hey, you guys come hang out, come do this. We're gonna do this, do this. There's still, I see that a little bit, like, hey, there's still some of that. However, when you think about traditional Lao parents, it's hard for them to get a divorce.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Hella hard.
Yeah.
But now, with everything going on, hey, chop me annoy, you mung Lao, right? You got a young girl in Laos.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm leaving you. You talk about that 20 years, the wife may say, man, it's okay, you know, I'll forgive him. Right? Now, I see some of these Lao like, nah, I'm not dealing with that crap.
Yeah.
Now we getting a divorce right now. You want to go have me annoyed? Then we're gonna get divorced right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're more masculine in
More
what they
masculine
want.
about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
They're more confident.
More confident too. And I think when you live in society where you have to survival, you're learning English, you're doing things on your own. Now you have the power. You got power and confidence to say that. Where we're back in Laos, man, you probably get physically beat by your husband.
Not only
You know
that,
what I mean?
it's the resource too, right?
Resources,
Like I
yeah.
mean, back then, like the men, or you don't have enough food or resource, so one guy could go find stuff. Like, oh shoot, I need to be taken care of, me and my kids. You know, like that's what they're looking at. You
Right.
know, as for us, so they're gonna get the high value guy like Charles was talking about. That's gonna be able to take care of.
Right.
You know, so if a guy's playing video games, you know, he's not gonna be able to take care of her. She'll be like, hell no, who the fuck are you? You know, so.
So you're a high value man, which you are. What kind of girl would you go for?
What the?
You talking to him or me?
Both of y'all.
Oh,
If you're a
What
high
kind of
value
girl?
man,
Oh, yeah, what kind of women would you go for? Traditional or modern?
I mean,
For
it wouldn't
me-
matter to me.
to me, it depends on where I'm at in life.
Well, let's just say you
Right
are
now?
at the top of your game.
The top of my game, then I have to. To me, depending on again where I want to be in life, as far as freedom, as far as seeing the world, I honestly would lean more towards cultural for me, because if I think about my love language too, my love language is service. One or two, physical and service.
That's how you feel love?
Yeah. When you think about the 5 love language for our viewers, I know you guys.
That session's coming.
Yeah, that session's coming up. But the service and physical touch is 2 of my most important. I think about cultural because my wife could take care of me. She could do those things. And I think I would feel loved more when my house is clean, when food is on the table. I love that a lot. That tells me that you love me, you know? And it comes with physical touch. So to answer your question, Charles, if I was at top of my game right now, I would go with cultural. I would go with traditional women. Yes, I would go that route. Not saying nothing wrong with the modern women. You guys are doing great. You know, it's just that I already have what I have.
But to love Lucky, you got to be traditional.
You got to be
Yeah.
traditional.
But what if she's modern and she still does the traditional stuff?
Now that's
Then that's traditional. But I'm talking about like straight up
one or the other.
One or the other.
One or the other.
But I think it's a mixture.
There's a mixture,
you know,
too.
I don't
Yeah.
think that it's one or the other. I think there's a combination because
Right.
the energies is mixed. You're not on one side or the other. You might be more, right? A little bit more than one or the other, but
you're still a combination.
But you're still a combination.
Well, I could say Felipe.
Yeah.
She has a combination. The girl has a master's degree. She works. She has a good job, right? But I think for Charles' question,
Yeah, you know, like the question is just
One or
directly,
the other.
One or
yeah,
the
but
other.
if you label it traditional and modern, you're basically saying it's this, where she's gonna be, taking care of all this stuff, and then she don't have, she don't go out and she don't work, or she don't, have.
No. So for me, is which one they pay attention more to.
Yeah.
So like traditional women's could be paying more attention to the household, whereas modern is like, I'm going to work.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not worried about that.
For me, it's traditional too. Then if you say it like that, then it's traditional.
Well, because we can't say a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Then we can never pick a side. I want to know which side.
And that's the thing, and that's the thing is, I think that we're labeling these things which shouldn't be labeled. Because it's gonna fit differently for different people in different circumstances.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
The reason I'm labeling it because when people are listening to us and they're trying to figure out which one I want to be.
So what would you pick, Charles?
Traditional, 100%.
Traditional, 100%.
Yeah.
I think most men would pick traditional.
Most men would pick traditional.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
Yeah, that's what we want.
That's not what we want to an extent, but we love being like this. That goes back to my love line, my love language.
Yeah.
I'm a service, physical touch. If you can't give me those two things, and you're busy working and trying to start a business and do that as a woman, well, shit, I don't feel love, dude. We're not gonna be compatible,
Yeah, and when I'm talking about traditional, I'm not talking about she stays home, stay home mom.
Right.
Like she could go out, get a job,
she
be
knows
educated,
her
her value,
role,
her role and her value. Yes.
So and even for certain situation where the girls or the women are the breadwinner, you could be the breadwinner and still play the traditional role.
Yeah.
Because like you said, respect. When you come home, like you allow me to be the man of the house.
Right.
So that's what I mean by traditional role. Not saying that traditional girls.
I don't know, man, but I see it as a guy, right? And I see this across culture too. If you're at home playing video game, right? And if I was the wife, right?
Yeah.
If I come home and I see you doing shit, and I see you, fucking the house ain't clean, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I would be pissed.
Well, that's because he's not a traditional man.
That's what but
If you ask this question to a young girl, right? Same thing. Whatever her name, let's pick her name, Stephanie.
Yeah.
Would you pick a cultural man or someone that's
traditional? Cultural is different.
Yeah, traditional man or someone who's more modern in doing it.
Let us know, audience.
Yes.
What do you think?
Let us know.
Do you want a guy that's super in touch with his feminine side and allow you to be the man in the house and he will play a house husband?
That is actually great question, man, because I know some of our viewers too, they're asking themselves too, like, man, how, looking at their partner or whoever, or their future partner, who would I pick?
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with being a house husband or housewife.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Because there's a lot of work to do that.
Yeah.
And that's a hard job. That's like not downplaying that at all.
It takes two to tangle, right?
Yeah.
And you're missing one, then you're missing something else.
The way I see it is more like, if you're a house husband, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, fuck, how are they fucking, right? Would the girl be like, hey, do this? Like, oh, fuck, man. Slapping them, let them know, hey.
Yeah.
Bring
the girl take
the
the charge in bed.
The girl taking charge,
I'm a big
That's what I'm thinking, right? I'm like, what the hell? How is that possible?
Yeah.
Because to me, I like to be the dominant one, So I'm like, I can't see it,
Yeah.
But there are women that way, though. And the men be like, okay, I'm going to lay down.
Oh, man.
Right?
There's those guys that want to be like, what were those guys and have the girls tie him up and beat them and
dominatrix.
Yeah, dominatrix.
Yeah,
like
dominatrix.
There's the guys that's like that.
Yeah.
They like to be dominated.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I haven't done that, so
yeah, I don't know.
tell you.
That's for a whole different topic. That's a whole nother topic, bro.
We'll make sure we have whatever leash and stuff here on the table next time too.
But yeah, it comes down to preference, right? As far as who would you want? Would you want a house husband? Maybe some girls out there, they want to go work. I don't want to stay home, cook and clean and do all this shit.
Well, I think
I'm gonna work.
And like I said, it depends on the relationship at the time, what they're going through, right? I've never, even for me, man, if Lupe ever want to go back to work and be that more modern person, I may have to take a step down just to take my little break because I've been doing it so long, right?
Yeah.
If she told me this today, hey, when the baby is born and he hits 6 years old, I'm going full blown in my career and things I need to do. Well, I'm gonna be like, well, let me take a step back.
Yeah,
because I need a little break. That's the switch a little bit, right? I think for even the viewers too, like they're probably thinking, man, I can't pick which one, but there's definitely a time in an era that all happens where we kind of switch a little bit, you know. There's times where I was a little bit lazy, like, hey man, I don't want to work this year. Why don't you go to work? Why don't you go to work this year for the whole year, and I can do all of that stuff. Then we'll switch back later.
I can play on the PS5 and shit. Huh?
Yeah, you know. But then again, she probably be like, shit, the dishes freaking all filled up, ain't nothing cooking, Lucky. What's she gonna do? I'm gonna go find another guy that's gonna be more traditional than you. Right? That's how I can see it, right? Because the girls watching this too, they can say the same thing.
Did you know that divorces are initiated by women the most?
Yeah, I heard about
Like
that.
70 to 80%.
No way. That's a big
That's a lot, bro.
That's a
Yeah.
lot.
70 to 80% of divorces are initiated
Why is
by
that?
women.
Why you think
Because
is that?
she coming home and you playing PS5. That's what's happening.
You coming home?
You ain't out there trying to survive, trying to
Dang.
beat somebody at thumb wrestling.
I've seen a lot of women, and I think that's another way of them cheating too. I heard it.
What do you mean?
This men, well, I could say past coworkers, the men did not get to where they need to be in life. And they gave this person an opportunity to challenge himself throughout the year. But again, he's still playing his PS3 or he's still doing it. And then guess who? Here comes this more modern guy comes in and say, hey, I'm doing this. Not a bad looking guy either. I'm doing this. Well, guess what? She's going to be like, man, I kind of like this guy. I kind of like this modern type guy because my guy at home, he ain't doing nothing.
It's hypergamy. You
Yep.
guys heard of hypergamy?
What was that?
No.
So hypergamy is the like the women, they tend to date up. Right,
Yeah.
they tend to date up in dating and stuff. Whereas men, we don't date up. We date up, down, left, right, forward, backward. Right, but women, when they're looking for husbands and partners and stuff like that, they're looking for someone that's going to be able to be at their level or higher.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think that has a lot to do with it. Like you were saying, you know, the women coming home like, oh man, my husband, my boyfriend, my partner ain't doing nothing, but here this smooth talker that's coming by wearing a fedora,
This
black
LL
shirt.
Cool Lucky,
Oh, my
you
God.
know what I mean? Woo.
And it's like, man, he is fucking charming as fuck.
See, but another thing that I think why women initiate divorce more than men is divorce are more in the women's favor.
Boy,
Because of the legal process?
Yeah,
but
because
not only that, I think it's because they're not happy in
oh yeah,
in the situation.
they're definitely not
you
happy.
know?
But then usually when somebody's getting divorced, both sides aren't happy. But usually, and the reason I think is because the divorce,
The
financial part is more in favor of women.
Of women.
I don't think so, because then when the divorce happened, the guys be like, what the fuck? They get hit, like, you know, out of left field, you know? They don't know it hit them until it's too late.
Until it's too late.
You think that happens more than
I think that happened more often than anything.
Yeah.
You know, because
The guys don't know.
Because they become robotic, right? They just do, and then all of a sudden they just, what the hell? I thought everything was fine. When it's too late already, you know, when the woman ain't happy because they're not reading their partner. They're not seeing the emotional stuff they're going through. They're not hearing that the women are complaining.
Right.
You know, they're not hearing what is happening in front of them.
Right.
You know, so they're just focused on work. That's it. And a lot of guys think working is it.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
There's a lot to relationship and keeping, right? And doing all that and all those factors in. But I did not know 70-80% of women. I think the only time I've seen men that say, I'm going to get a divorce is they already found somebody else.
Yeah,
Most of the guys, right? They're they found somebody else, like, hey, I'm about to get a divorce. I don't even care what happens.
But I think the women stay in these relationships longer than they should.
Yes.
Because they're trying to make it work.
Trying to make it work.
Yeah, they're
and
trying
remember,
to make
women
it
more emotional about it.
Yeah,
you know?
they
I don't know because like you're talking about men leaving after they found somebody. But like I remember working at like grocery stores where these women would sleep with these guys just because they give more attention to those girls.
Yes.
So I don't know if they end up divorcing or not, but I know they cheat on their spouses because
But why? Okay, you said attention, but why are they doing that because of attention?
they're not getting enough at home.
They're not getting it at home. Right. Yeah. That comes down to what you were saying, where you're not paying enough attention to your partner.
Right.
You know, and that comes down to that balance thing. You're working too much. I don't see you enough. You know, so they're gonna feel a type of way.
I think
you
as
know?
coming from a therapist, you know, and did some couples therapy, that is one of the crucial factors. Time, love, affection, more than finance. You get some of those argue about money and all that. I get it, but majority of it, it's like, hey, I'm I'm lusting over someone else when I don't need to do that, but I'm not getting it where I need to get here. So yes, the cute guy with the fedora is talking sweet to me. I'm gonna venture that way a little bit. We're just friends. It starts out. We're just friends, right? Texting each other back and forth, and next thing you know, it leads on to a physical attraction. You know what I mean? And
so you think men or women want attention more?
I think women want attention more. I think, and this is from maybe my experience or things that I've been around or things that I've seen, people that I've talked to, people I counsel. I think women have a bigger need. Men have a need in certain areas at certain times. But I think for the women, it's more steady for them.
Yeah.
Hey, if this person doesn't give me this a certain amount a week, then, hey, like I said, the things that I want, I'm getting for someone else, I'm going to venture towards that. You know what I mean? Whether it could be just going out to movies, time, text message, whatever that is,
It's love, right?
Yep.
They're looking for love.
For me, women are looking for mental attention, where guys are looking for physical attention.
Yes.
Coming for the 5-minute guy over here. It's always mental now. It's not physical.
It's not
not
physical.
5 minutes now.
Wait, time out. You guys didn't hear yourself. You said, what I said was guys looking for physical attention. The women needs the mental attention. So you don't need to go for an hour and a half for women.
Yeah. So we're basically, Charles.
No, go ahead, Charles.
go ahead.
Wait. Oh, go ahead. I wanted to hear you first.
What I'm saying is the mental aspect of it,
Yes.
right? When it comes to sex, what we're referring to, right? They need to be mentally stimulated to a certain point.
Yes.
And then it's more physical. But when you're talking about sex, is physical first for them? No.
No.
And
Totally
even you said.
Totally saying, if I look at a hot girl right now,
Yeah.
and in my mind,
Yep.
at the bar, at the club, whatever, I'm looking at her, she looking at me. In my mind, I'm reading this whole fantasy in my head already. Just playing that in my mind could stimulate me already physically. My wee
For women, it's like that too.
Yes.
For me, it's like that
It's
too.
the imagination,
Yeah.
right? It's the fantasy
Yes.
in them. So that's how, if you see them at the bar, if you see the girl ready already, she already have in her mind.
Yeah.
That she want to get it in.
That's why they read those novels.
Yeah.
And they have the imagination.
Imagination, right?
That porn.
Yes. And the guys just go straight to videos.
Right.
The guys, when you think about being with a girl, right? They're thinking about with their dick first. I'm sorry.
Yes, they
Let's
do.
go to the
That's
bar.
it. Ladies,
We're thinking about
guys think with their dick first.
They
okay?
always do.
They always do.
We always do.
Yeah.
And if a guy say that they don't, they're lying.
Yep, they are.
Well, maybe it is part of this conversation. It's kind of rose. Are men more hornier than women?
I think they're both as
No, I think women are more horny.
I read a study.
Who's more?
I read a study.
Women.
Men think about sex 30 times per hour, 30 some times per hour.
Yes.
And women think about sex just a little bit more than that.
Wow.
No, a little bit less than that.
Listen to that.
Yeah, but it's right there close to each other.
Okay, wait. Since we're talking about mental and physical, which one's worse? Physical cheating or mental cheating?
Oh, that one's
Emotional
hard.
or emotional?
Mental, emotional cheating is worse.
Yeah, to me, mental is worse.
Yeah.
If I caught you cheating, fine. You caught me, right? I'll be hurt for a little
Wait,
bit.
you caught him or you caught her?
Yeah,
I
caught me.
No, I caught
He caught me. Caught me cheating.
Okay. Caught her cheating. It's gonna hurt him more. Okay.
I think if I caught this person cheating, I saw it physically, that emotional damage that I saw, yes, were hurting me. However, I could get away from that a little faster.
Easier. A little bit easier.
Yes, a little bit easier than the mental aspect of it. You know?
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, because mental
Yes.
and emotional, there's a connection now.
Yes.
Right? You're attached soul to soul now, right? You
Trauma.
feel
Yeah.
something.
I'm thinking about the trauma, the long-term trauma of it.
Right.
Hurts me more, right? Because I got to deal with that for a long
But if it's
period of time.
sex,
Yeah.
if it's just sex,
Sex?
I could probably get
Yeah,
over it.
I
You
get
know?
over it. Just grab another girl.
No, so okay, what about this?
Yeah.
So like
So the fedora and a black shirt.
Exactly.
so if you catch your girl,
No, what do you think it is? What's more
I don't know. I
emotional,
would think,
mental, or physical?
I think physical.
You think physical? Why?
Wow.
Like so if I ever catch my girl cheating, right, physically, I can't give her a second chance. But if she end up liking somebody, I feel like I could give her a second chance. I've never been in the position of either, but that's just what I'm thinking.
But think about it like this, right? If you and another guy, okay,
You
your
lucky?
girl, yeah, no, not lucky. If your girl, hypothetically, Stephanie, right? We use Stephanie.
Yeah.
She loves you, but she also loves another guy, right? And when she's with you, she's constantly thinking about this guy. Would you still love her the same way?
During sex,
Even during sex too, yeah.
thinking about him.
Wouldn't be happy.
But that's what I was saying.
And then
because,
for the last 2, 3 years, 4 years in your relationship, you didn't even know this.
Yeah.
So when you talk about respect too, right? Now you're hurt because you just realized that this whole time it wasn't me. And my feelings,
Yeah.
my deepest feelings about
his
our relationship,
his
my heart.
Charles,
Oh my God.
his heart.
His
I'm
heart.
I'm just
All right.
I'm depressed now.
Yeah.
Koi uk jai, like depressed, right? Uk jai.
He had to go to Laos.
Yeah, I'm going to Laos. Koi uk jai.
Hey,
Oi,
that's how you know he's hurt.
Koi wa koi hak chao. I thought I loved you. Koi wa koi hak chao. Mut jai koi.
So
Everything I think about
You know,
you, right?
you know when it's serious when he started changing
Yeah.
language.
Yeah.
Everything that I've done, I put you in it. My investment, my time, my money. So you telling me this whole time that you don't love me? You
thought you had her heart.
You thought you had your heart.
Yeah.
Tell me how could you love somebody else?
Okay, so now if you walked in on her cheating on you, would you not feel the same
I will
way?
feel it at that point, right, Charles?
Yes.
I will get away from it because
Yeah.
I know that, okay, you did what you need to do. Mentally, I got it checked in my head. I would never forget this, but also I could leave it at that moment because I finally validated. They finally validate to me physically. I saw you with another man. Instead of trying to read your text messages, trying to go through your phones and do all that and realize that this
Because
whole
I think
freaking
physical
time,
is
man.
more like it's just sex. That's
Yeah.
it. Don't think about it. Whatever. Right.
Right.
But if it's emotional, there's a connection, man. And
Connection.
I think
It's deeper than that.
Yeah, it's deeper than that. It's not just
So,
physical. You know.
Which one are you guys able to give a second chance to?
I think mine would be more physical. I could give a second chance for that. But will I give a second chance? Will I give a second? I don't know.
Well, I don't know. We're both in the same position where I think I could give the second chance to the emotional one, but I don't know because I've never been in there.
Honestly,
But that's what we're saying. Though.
Yeah,
to
Like,
me,
I know.
I
So-
can't give a chance for none of those. To none of those,
So
because
they're even.
because I value myself too much, you know, and I have
Yeah.
self respect for myself. So if those stuff ever happen, and Lupe knows too, I'll be done, you know. And like again, there's a different life, a different vision, different
Yeah.
things, right? And all those things could come back to me at a later time.
So the conclusion is, we can't handle either one of them.
no, we can't. Fuck
women,
this shit. Fuck this shit. Fuck
hey,
it.
the women on this show, the women that are listening to this, what can you handle?
But they're gonna come back, right?
Yes.
Okay, talking about a woman, they're gonna be like, "Well, how come it's okay for you to cheat,
It's not.
and I should be okay
It's
with
not
that?"
okay to cheat.
You know what I
It's
mean?
Not, it's
It's
definitely
not okay for us to cheat,
Right.
But selfishly, we want you to get over it because, hey, because I did
We
it.
have needs.
Yeah, no, because I did it. Fuck what I did.
Yeah.
I want you to still love me anyways.
Yeah.
But if you did it,
Yeah, it's
Hey,
over.
it's over.
It's over. Yeah, it ain't go the way around like that.
so this ain't no guy or girl thing. It's more of a selfish thing.
Selfish thing.
There's this study that they did, and they said that when women have sex, right, it releases dopamine,
Yep.
Yeah.
right, and that is the
drug.
chemical of bonding, right, pair bonding or whatever they call it,
Yeah.
right, and they said women release that, as with guys we decrease that. So
Really?
we don't pair bond when we mate, when we have sex, you know. And so that's why this whole thing here about like women and men cheating or having multiple mates and stuff like that, right? Like it's a big old issue. But science has proven that women pair bond when they have sex.
So we're, us guys, when we come, we're like, finally, we're done, right?
And we're done.
We're done.
And that's
the
why
girl's like,
we don't call them
more.
back. You know, we don't call them back. We don't
Yep.
this and that. But the women, they get attached.
They get attached.
Yeah, they get
That's
attached,
that.
and
That's
then
that.
so it's harder for them to
So
let go.
let me ask you this.
You know?
Then why is there so many guys that's pussy whip?
That pussy must be good. You know what I'm
Pussy
saying?
must be good.
Yeah.
Well, again, it goes back to that thing, right? We think with our wee,
Yeah.
right? If we're gonna think with our wee, and if that stuff is really good, then of course we're gonna.
Well,
come
it's
back.
this too, right?
That connection.
It's this too, right? if she's gonna give you sex all the time, would you want to go out there and try to ask a girl out, get rejected again, right? Would you try to get numbers again? Would you try to go out there and try to get more when you could just come home and then it's there?
Yeah.
The easy way out, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not challenges, you know.
So guys are faithful because they're lazy.
For the most part, yeah, dude, we're lazy. You know?
And then it depends on the guys too. They have a connection with that person. Sometimes they don't, or there's guys that want to try all the rainbow, right?
Yeah.
I want to try everything in this world. Anything that walks, I'm sticking it in. You know what I mean? That's what I want to do, right? So I think it just depends on that guy in that aspect. That's crazy. I realized that.
What?
No, I was just thinking of Charles's question when he asked about the physical and the mental. Like, man, I couldn't do none of that, no matter what. Because if she did that to me, I'm done.
But you know, there are stories out there that the women put up with the men that strays, right? The men that's this and that, you know, and a lot of women.
Why do you think they stay?
Why they stay?
Why do you think they?
Because he's a high value man like you with a fedora and a black shirt, bro.
Yeah.
Because I think they stay because they need a place to feel safe. Even though he goes out and cheats, but then she don't know where she could go. Like she need a place to stay, how she's gonna eat. Once she figured that out,
The resource.
Yeah, the resource.
It goes back to resource.
Yeah,
You know?
So once she has her own resource, then she doesn't need to stay.
She's able to forgive.
That's why.
I don't think she forgives.
No.
I don't think she forgives. I think she remembers.
Remembers.
Yeah,
she
but I don't
doesn't
think she
forget.
forgives.
She doesn't forget. See, that'd be great to have a woman's perspective, especially on this conversation.
Do you think that's why there's more women doing divorces now because they have resources to just leave?
Yeah,
Of
they could
course.
do whatever they want.
They're
you know?
as powerful.
So the men don't have
They're
the
as
power
powerful.
over that anymore.
No,
right?
men.
No,
Yeah,
no.
men don't have power over the women as far as research no more. Because the women be like,
Yep.
you know what? I don't need your money. I don't need shit. I go do it on my own.
Like again, they're trying to find the higher one, right? So if you're right there too, hey, I could find another Charles. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Now, today and age, they're so well equipped and they have so much power to do that. Man, you'd be surprised how many divorce
Think
papers
about
coming to
this.
the door.
A woman that's making 6-figure, is she gonna date somebody that's like a loser that stays home and this and that?
Well, that don't have to be a loser. He could make 80,000.
Okay,
She still don't want to.
would she want to do that?
No.
No, I don't think she would. You know, I mean, you got to be at her level or better.
Yep.
You know, and I don't think that men and women, it's
And if it is they trying, I think there'll still be a little bit of conflict in the future.
because then it's a power struggle
it's a
now.
power struggle after that, right?
I'm alpha, right?
Yep, I'm alpha.
I'm running this show,
Yep,
right?
I'm running the show. I could talk to you a little different now, right? So
Man, imagine the makeup sex with that, huh?
Oh. Hey, we're going back to sex. You go on the bottom. No, you go on the bottom.
yeah,
You go on the bottom, Woot. No, you. You eat this. No, you eat this.
Charles like, I don't want to be the cowboy. Wait, what'd you say? Reverse cowboy? No, I ain't do no reverse cowboy.
Hey,
You do the reverse cowgirl. What the hell?
you bent over. What are you gonna do to me?
Like 2 fingers.
We talk about Dr. Tara. Wait, babe, we should tag Dr. Tara. Dr. Tara, is it
Yeah.
true? If you put 1.5 inch up the male's butthole, he is an orgasm? Because I would love to know that too.
Yeah, I want to know. She said it. You
She
showed
said
it.
it. She said it on a.
It's at the
video.
male G spot,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
What happened when she go? Well, let's find out.
Who they call Sam?
I found out. Actually, let me show.
The male G-spot. Let's talk about it.
Put it in the mic.
The male G-spot is a couple of inches inside his butthole. Stimulating it can give men multiple orgasms without touching their genital. Finger his hole and enjoy the orgasm show. My name is
Oh man, I don't know, bro.
Yeah, I don't know about
Hey,
that.
it remind me
man.
of that story that you
Jeez.
told us, where one of your friend, right? Put
yeah.
Was it the anal plug?
Ain't a plug.
Yeah.
That's probably why he enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It may make sense, no? I tell Lupe all the time, ain't nothing come next to this butthole, man. Nothing come close to this butthole. I don't care, I'll die.
Let me ask you this. So, like, let's say you guys been together for 10 years, and all of a sudden she comes out with all these new tricks. What's the first thing? What's the first thing that's gonna come to your mind?
First, I'm gonna be like, who the hell be teaching you all this? How did you know all this? You know?
But what if she just want to explore?
Yeah.
You know what? in the world of being loved and being togetherness, right? I don't know how far I could get. You know what I mean?
Hey, Lucky, we've been doing this 3 position for the past 10 years.
Now that's a bedroom type of mood. I don't know. Maybe after a couple of drinks, man, the mind would change. You know, I don't know how that works. But again, man, to me, it's different. But if my spouse or partner is telling me that you don't like this, then well, can I try it with someone else? Right? I don't know how that conversation would go, man. And honestly, as long as it doesn't pertain to me more, the effect on me more, I'd rather have her enjoy it and do it to her. Then I wouldn't mind all the other stuff, but it has to be towards her. I don't think I'm not open yet. I'm not there yet to answer that question.
Because you know, like with women, as they're more masculine in their energy now, right? They're exploring sex more, right? They're more like open to exploring different partners, different position, different things.
They even tell you before, I want it 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Women are telling them, men, I want it 3
How many
times
times should you do it in a day?
Yeah.
I mean, in a week.
Yeah.
Was that a question?
That question to me, Charles? Oh no, mine's every day for sure.
Oh yeah.
However, there's times where my wife would be like, "Hey man, I want it 3 times a day." Like, cool. I have to try to figure that out, right? But now I've seen women, even coworkers in conversations, they say, "Yeah, I tell my husband, you need to give him at least 2-3 times a day." That's like we have to do that, and if we don't, then there's gonna be some issues, And I'm like, dang, dude.
Yeah.
You talking about Janet Jackson? Janet Jackson I read an article that when she was dating Jermaine Dupri, they were dating together. Mm-hmm. Janet Jackson told Jermaine Dupri that she at least needed 3 times a day. Jermaine Dupri couldn't keep up. He said the one thing that their relationship fell out, he goes, the one thing that I felt that I could have done better was Janet was so needy in the sexual stuff. Like I couldn't give her that because she was wanting a lot. She wanted to be active. She wanted to, and she was telling this guy this, man. So that's a very interesting thing, dude. Because my wife told me 3 times. I'm like, man, I don't know if I could do 3 times.
So then all these girls that are saying, "Oh, I don't need it. I don't need it. Right? I don't want it. Whatever." Like, do you think they're telling the truth?
I think they're telling the truth.
I think they are in extent.
Because they lie to themselves so much that they believe it.
Yeah. But in the end, who doesn't want affection? Who doesn't want the intimacy and the intercourse? 'Cause it's part of human nature, If you're not enjoying with that partner, because that's part of the reason why you had a bad experience.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
To me, my partner would be like, yeah, I'm in the mood. I'm doing it, And that goes back to that,
Yeah, the role of women, they're taking the lead in the bedroom now, and like I said, I think the guys need to step up.
Yeah.
So how many times a week or a day do you got?
Yeah. Mr. 1.5 hours.
Man, I need it at least 3, 4, 5 times a week.
Yeah.
I mean,
because it's hard to do 3 times a day when you're going that long.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard, man. Yeah. But when you're going that long, it's more like you're being in the moment, right? You're being present, and you're exploring, right? You're taking a journey, and if you're going that long, and if she's coming for like 3, 4, 5 times and multiple, then it's a good session, But if you're going that long and she's only coming once, I think that's an issue.
Yeah.
For us, once we're done, we're done.
We're done.
What about you, Charles?
As many times as I could get it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
What do you mean as many times as you could get it?
Well, I mean, there's
talking about your time. Your
time
schedule.
and my schedules.
But the question was, how many times do you need it?
Do I need it? Shit, maybe once a day.
Once a day.
If you're talking about need, but ideally, I mean, we could go 3, 4 times a week. That would be, enough.
So when you get older, male testosterone decreases. You older guys tend to have sex less unless you're using performance enhancement stuff, right? You talk about the blue pill, Viagra, or whatever. So that's another gray area or sensitive area for older guys too, that they only sometimes get to once a week or once every 2 weeks. And this is why this infidelity, younger girls, older women dating younger men because they have energy, right? All that stuff. So that plays into insecurity of some of the men too. That's why I tell them, man, like, I'm trying to keep up with every freaking thing. As long as my wife happy, I'm keeping up with it. You know what I mean? So I think some of the guys, very important, man, like keep up with that because if the women has need, your wife has need, your girlfriend has need, whoever, your spouse has need.
She tell you to eat it, you better eat it.
Hey, you better eat that oyster.
Yeah, you better eat it. Rotational. Go clockwise, counterclockwise, left, right, up, down.
If you need to be a good sport, be a cowboy for once. Do the reverse cowboy for you.
Don't forget. Don't be afraid to eat the booty hole.
Toss the salad.
Toss the salad.
Nah.
What?
Tony tosses salads. Oh, man.
I'm just saying, don't be afraid.
Don't
be afraid to toss the salad.
Yeah, don't be afraid.
As long as this
That's
don't rant.
Definitely another session that we got.
We're getting off topic. Let's get back to gender role, guys.
Yeah.
Let's finish off our.
Let's finish it off.
Our thoughts here. Charles, we'll start with you.
Thoughts?
With gender roles.
Gender roles.
For me, I like a traditional type, but I mean, everybody's different.
Yeah.
Like you said, there's a balance that you got to be modern and traditional. So as long as you don't overpower one way or the other, then I think you should be fine. Because for traditional women, like we're in this modern time where you could get a job and do a little bit more. And modern women, like, I don't need another man. I don't need somebody to go out and work as many hours as I did. I need somebody to help me raise my kids. So.
Yeah, I think, man, I think for me, we talk about gender roles. Every relationship is different. Every relationship has a unique stance in that perspective. I love the cultural women role for me because it kind of aligned with my values and morals growing up as a first generation Lao refugee. Seeing my mom, the way she was treated, and also how my dad treated her, I wouldn't be able to be where I'm at today without the cultural aspect of it. So I lean more towards the traditional role in women because I also want to be the more modern guy, the breadwinner. I want to do all that because if I feel if I'm not there, then I'm out of place.
Yeah,
I'm out of place in my own identity. So the traditional role is important. If you are having challenges in that, those are conversations you should have with your spouse or partner, and identify that. And in the future, things can change as well. So maybe there's a time where I do need to get to stay home and do some of those things. It just depends on the relationship.
Yeah.
That's my take on it. Yeah.
I think for me too, I like the traditional role as a man and a woman. And I think that, we are good at different aspects of our role. Not saying that, women can't do it, men can't do each other's role, but they sure can, It's just that, what you're good at, if you and your partner, discover that, hey, you're better at cleaning, folding clothes or whatever it is, switch it up, but I think for the most part, for the men, I think it's our responsibility to provide, to protect, and to penetrate.
That's the most important one, right?
Yeah, the most important one.
We got to reproduce.
Yeah, you got to reproduce. But I think, as men, it's that we have to do that, and, we have to go out and conquer the world,
Yep.
And we're building these world for the women,
Yep.
Not for anybody else,
We love to hear from the audience. This is a great session that we love to hear from you guys. If you guys can comment, please let us know what you guys think and your opinions on this as well. Yeah. And we hope to have a woman on here to talk about those gender roles and also maybe a sex expert too.
Dr. Tara?
Doctor?
What was
Dr.
that? Dr. Tara?
Dr. Tara, if you're listening,
Yes.
we'd love to have you on our show too, to get your point of view and share a little bit more about reproductive and women and gender roles and all that stuff too. So, yeah.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, tell us how full of shit we are in a comment.
And ring that
bell. Thank you for listening. Ring that bell.
Ring that bell.
And thank you for supporting us on our journey.
Yes, and thank you, Fahrenheit HVAC, for sponsoring this video.
Yes. Thank you.